Yes, good evening.
Seeing the screen, seeing it.
All right, good evening again, and thanks for joining. Welcome to our second session. So for our agenda for the 3 days, pretty much we have day 1. We went through the business registration. We discussed the type of business, the advantages of business, how to register business. For day 2 session, we plan to go through a business plan. And for day 3, we have the use of technology in your business. Let us do a quick recap on our first session in terms of business registration. So can anyone give me a summary or what they remember about the business registration? What they think of the session? Was it good? Did I miss out anything? Can I have your feedback on the first day session?
It was very informative.
That's good. That's good. Do you have your business registered? Did it motivate you to consider registering your business?
Yes, definitely. And at least a better idea of what type of business to register it as.
That is good. That is good. Thank you, Yasmin. Someone else? I could see Sylvie.
I believe, good evening.
Somebody talking. Okay.
Hi, Sylvie. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Yep, good evening.
Hi, good evening. I gathered for registration the utmost importance of registration because anybody can have your business name and you're not aware of that, and somebody could be using the same thing as you. So it's very important to register your business. When you think you have your business covered, the name covered, somebody else has it.
That is true. Well, I can add to that and say your business is yours only after it's registered. Until it's not registered, it's not yours.
Thanks for that.
Yep, welcome.
Sorry, I missed the last session, but I work with Sedu, so I'm just curious to hear.
Oh, that is good. That is good. We needed someone from Sedu on board. We had a few questions for Sedu. But anyways, next, I'll highlight it. Should those questions arise again, then definitely we know who to.
No problem.
All right, Rosalind. Anyone else?
I heard when you told me that farming businesses do not attract taxes. The next thing I did was started the process of registering the business because this was the only thing holding me back. I didn't want to deal with, reconciliations at the end of the year. So when you told me that great news, I started the process. So thank you.
All right, that is a good thing. Is it the reconciliation you don't want, or you don't want to pay the government? That's a joke. You don't have to answer. That was a joke. Anyone else? Let's warm up. So that means.
Hello, good night.
Hi,
what I wanted, hi Jameson, that's Shari. What I wanted to say, I don't have an agriculture business, but I remember registering my business with Connect. I think it's Connect. Yeah. It's an agency where they do everything for you. They would go to do the registration and everything, and you just have to pay them through the bank, and then you would have to it would have the same exact form from the government, but they would just have an additional fee.
Okay. And how recent you did that? Was it a long time ago or?
Recent.
Recent, okay.
I did it recent. I did it this year. I did it last year. And they're on Instagram and they're on WhatsApp as well. The name is Connect.
You said you did it this year and you did it last year.
I've seen it. Yeah, you can pay. Like like they have it as a business. So what they do, they have a form, you would enter all your information, and then they will go and they will do a search for you through the government, like the search for the name of your business and so on. Like they're the ones going and do it on your behalf.
Understand, that is good.
Yeah, they're the one doing. So if you're at work and you're always busy, you can just pay them via the bank, fill their form because they have a downloaded form. I forget the name of the form they call it. And then you would enter all your information. You would get a copy of your ID and different things, whatever they request from you. And they will tell you when the process completes, and you would get your certificate from the government.
But you can do that online without having to get somebody to do that for you.
Yes, you can do it
Okay.
online. But what I'm saying,
But the
sometimes
price,
you're busy and they're the one taking care of everything for you because you're always at work. You don't have time to do the stuff. So then these people would be the ones responsible for doing it for you.
Okay, but the
It's
process
like a
doesn't
business
take
they're
very
running, yeah.
long.
So for example, if the government is charging you $150, they will be charging you $300 to go through the process for you.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't have to go to Castries, stand on the line, or you know what I mean?
I get your point.
And
So,
they're located in Castries. I think the guy is from Corinth and the girl stays, the two people that own the business, they're from Corinth.
okay. And
Can
you
you
from
tell me
where?
the name of that?
Where I'm from?
Yeah.
I'm Shari, I'm from Soufrière.
Oh, okay, okay.
Jameson, you know me.
Yes,
I
yes.
visited your farm recently, remember? With my
Yes, I
son.
do. I remember now. The name,
Yes.
I hadn't registered the name. The
Okay.
reason I asked you from where is because looking at the convenience of having someone, you said you didn't have to go to Castries.
Yeah, I can,
having
yeah,
someone
I
to-
can give you all the information if you would like, but
Yeah,
you're
sure.
really good.
But what was the total you paid? You said $300 for him to do everything for you?
I cannot remember the exact amount, but it was below $400.
Okay. But like the first session, if you go through CEDU, your total you'll pay will be like, I think, 157.50, something to that is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually saving some more money if you do it. And someone was saying you could do it online as well.
Yes, Mrs. Howell here. Just now. So the person is charging you another $150, which is more than double the amount. The name search is free. You can do that online.
Yeah, the name search.
It's free. You can do it online.
But you know they have their package. They will tell you, oh, it includes a stamp. It will include a laminated certificate. You might get 2 copies. You know what I mean? A package.
I guess time is
For their
valuable
service.
and you
But
pay
it's
for
the
your
same thing you
For
get
the service. Yeah, you're paying for the
You're
service.
paying for the service.
Yeah,
paying for the
they're
service.
providing a service.
Okay.
And
It's
it's
an
on
entrepreneurial.
Instagram, then it's Connect. Let me get the exact spelling for you. 1 sec.
I actually know the business she speaks in is Connect 758.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
With a
basically
K.
do everything. Yeah, they just basically do everything, the parts of the business for you, the up and down.
Connect Service 758. Yeah.
Yeah.
Business registration. It's on Instagram. They do business registration and creating stamps and all different things.
Yeah. So for persons who were not aware, there is another avenue how you can register your business.
It's
You-
KONNECT, Connect Services.
Yeah, well,
Connect with a K.
you pay for the service for them to do the service for you. However, you get the same end result. Miss
Yeah.
Howell, you aware of that agency? You all do business with them?
No, actually not. And I'm curious because we actually discourage people from charging for the service. I don't know how legal that is.
Well, I guess if they
They're
if
a
they-
registered
I
business, you know?
understand. I understand
They're a
it's
registered business.
an entrepreneurial venture, right? But it's the same. I think it's something we would have to look into because I remember it came up in one of the meetings that we were having, and actually it was being discouraged. You understand? So it's not
they
something
have
that we would
a small
encourage people
business.
to. But I understand the person is being, I mean, the entrepreneurial in terms of their venture. You can't stop people from, you know, being business minded, which is what we want to encourage. But some of the services that you would not charge for, they would still probably come into us to get the statutory declaration prepared, because you have to get it stamped by us. So I guess they're walking through the process on behalf of the persons who need the service but can't be available themselves. What I'm curious about is who is filling in the form and bringing it in, because no one is allowed to act or transact, on behalf of another person without the power
No,
of
we're the one
attorney.
filling our own forms.
I know, but for
And
them
we have to go
bring-
to the
listen,
JP as well to
and
stamp
for
it.
them to bring it in, listen, for the statutory document to be prepared, which is a legal document, you need a power of attorney. So I want to know, at what point does that happen? There's a it's a legal process involved that I'm not sure if that is happening. So it means somebody in my office is either enabling it without the power of attorney, right? Which means it's something that is, because I remember it came up in a meeting and there's a legal concern there. You understand? Because for a third party to do this on behalf of another, you must have power of attorney, which is a legal thing. It's not just you come in and let you pay the person, they come and do it on your behalf. So it means somebody's either facilitating it within one of these offices, either the registry of company or SEDU or both.
Just to interject a little, because there's also this other company, not related, that you apply for a passport and it's similar, they do everything for you and they give you back your passport. So is this something wrong too?
I don't know about the passport facility, but I know for our services, that has been, there's a legal requirement. I'm curious because I would want to ask our legal officer if there's something that has changed.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening.
Because the passports, you actually have to state that you want somebody to collect it on your behalf.
Yeah, the passport allows you to do that. The passport application form allows you to do that.
I'm not talking about the collection, I'm talking about the whole application process. You go to this agency and they do everything for you and they charge you a fee and then you come back to them to collect your passport.
I don't
They'll
know.
do the whole application process. It costs about $590.
Hi, good evening.
Discussing the passport here.
I don't know about the passport.
Okay.
Hi,
So
good
I'm just saying
evening.
maybe new businesses are doing these things. I don't know.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, go along. Hello.
Yes, right. Yeah, I would like to ask a question. I understand the discussion is being held right now. However, I recently registered my business. Well, not registered. I filled in the client intake form and I emailed it with the necessary documents to SEDU. I've been trying the numbers for the last 3-4 days, working days, and I cannot get through to SEDU. So that I can well imagine when somebody has to pay somebody to do the walk-in process, because I don't have time to walk up and down to find out whether or not the application has been received and what's the process and what's the delay.
Well, I can't tell you whether there's an issue with the lines, but I don't know what numbers you've tried.
A 468 number and a 459.
All of them are 468. All of them are 468.
Yes, but I'm not getting
the secretary's desk is 468 4223.
Yes,
and the
I've tried
clerk
that
was
number.
4241.
Okay.
And there are usually people stationed there.
Yeah,
and
well, nobody has
out,
the two numbers that you all had on the email Thomas website. I'm not getting through to them. And I also wanted to ask, how long does it take for you to get a response when you send an email? Because I
can't really tell you. The secretary is the one who manages some of those, the SBDC St. Lucia email.
Okay, so the reason why I brought up my query is just to show how I could understand somebody will hire somebody to go through the process for them, because
but it's important for you to give feedback. And I think if it is possible for me to at least maybe give you all the information for the supervisor, because sometimes we do have administrative issues in terms of transferals and people being out.
Okay,
for some days they are in the field, maybe there are outreach programs that they assign to work through for the day and so on, and so people get shifted around.
I understand that, my dear. For example, like the registrar companies, in a matter of 2 days, you'll get a response.
Usually it doesn't take long.
Usually
it doesn't take long, unless, for example, if the lady, the secretary, I'm actually on leave right now, so I don't know what's happening right now. So if she has been out for any reason, let's say sick leave, there's usually a clerk who assists. There's supposed to be a clerk who assists, and other things like that. So I don't want to spend too much time on that, but we can,
Yeah.
you always call me, I
Okay.
can give you my number and you can let me know what your issues are so I can forward it to the supervisor. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Yep, thank you for clarifying, Ms. Howell. And thanks for those who share their experiences from the last session.
Mrs. Howard, I wanted to ask you something. I'm not sure how SEDU does it, but I know with the paralegal services that I dealt with, is just Alexander Paralegal Services. What is done is they do the search for you on your own, then they prepare the documents for you. So it's not done through SEDU. You have to go to a JP and sign. So I guess Connect is all doing all the work, but you and that person have to go to the JP and sign, and they prepare all the documents for you. So nothing is done through SEDU. They do it with the register of companies, then the JP, they prepare the documents and so forth, and they go back to register of companies.
Okay, I know some people do use an attorney.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
they do use an attorney, which is fine. That's
okay.
one of the things that they don't dispute. If you go to an attorney, you pay the money to the attorney, but I'm not too sure what the legal power is for an ordinary person. I don't know. I'm not a legal professional, but I know that that was one of the requirements, that you do have to have power, because people do unscrupulous things, right?
Yes,
In the name of another person, it can happen. And especially for third parties from outside of St. Lucia too, that's one of the things they regulate. Other things that come into question are things like our treaties. So if you are in like a partnership arrangement, the persons who are engaged in doing that registration must be aware of what the treaties speak to. So if you are in partnership, let's say with a non-OACS CARICOM member partner, you have to know what the arrangement is for a right of establishment and so on. So there are other things that come into play in that process. I'm not too sure if that service provider is aware of all of those conditionalities.
Listen, I guess the members are cautious of it, and we'll proceed cautiously.
Okay.
All right, just be mindful of what you're doing, especially sharing your details with someone else.
Thanks.
All right, so Tim, thanks again. Let's move along to the objectives we set for the 3 days. The first objective pretty much is to get everyone to view their agri-enterprise as a business. I trust by now everyone is already considering their agri-enterprise as a business. If they would not, I think they should. And I still have 2 more sessions to help convince you to view your agri-enterprise as a business. The second objective is to get everyone to register the agri-enterprise as a business. We did a poll, the poll last week. Do you have the results of the poll, the final results of the poll from the host? I guess they'll get back to us, but I also can we create a new poll? If I could get the result of the last poll with reference to how many persons have their agri-enterprise registered as a business, and we create a new poll pretty much asking how many persons not registered are willing to register their agri-enterprise as a business. All right, the facilitators, can you have that done for me, please? The next objective we have for this.
Yes, I can. Excuse me, Mr. Jameson, I will liaise with the person who moderated the last session we had with you.
Sure, thanks. And also, can you tell me the final results of the first poll as well, if it's still available? Okay, if that's okay. So the next objective we have is the development of a business plan for your agri-enterprise. And that's what we're going to do today. So day 2, business plan. Can someone tell me what is a business plan, in your opinion, what you think a business plan is? Before we delve into it, just give me your brief understanding of a business plan. Any volunteers? Should I call on someone? What is a business plan? Or why do you need a business plan?
Okay, so you need a business plan so you can have an outline on what your set goals are. And just as a guide to guide you in the future, and as well to in order to seek financing from an institution.
Yes, thank you. That is correct. Someone else? Another opinion on what they think a business plan is or why you need a business plan? Or furthermore, do you have a business plan? I think it's a more relevant question, especially for those with their business registered. Do you have a business plan? Based on the last poll, at least 40% of the respondents said they had a business plan.
I believe, excuse me, good evening.
Yep.
Yes, I have a business plan.
I believe a business plan is basically maybe where you want to go, maybe in the future, or what your plans are for your business.
Do you believe your business plan must be written or just have it in your mind, in your head?
No, you must write. You can't have it in the head. You have to write it down.
So how many persons have their business idea, I say idea in this instance, in their mind and not necessarily a written plan, a business plan?
Not formally written, but then you scribe, you maybe jot down every time you think of what you want, you put it down, and then after that you do something formal, maybe not now, but then you must have something written down.
Yeah, and you must have the idea as well. You need to
Yes.
know what it is you want, and then from there you document it. Yep. A business plan. A business plan is a written document that outlines the goals, strategies, and detailed plans for a business. It serves as a roadmap that guides the organization's activity and provides a comprehensive overview of how the business intends to operate and achieve its objective. As you could see, like the last caller indicated, that a business plan is a written document. Many times we have our ideas, our business ideas, it's all in our head. And someone say, do you have a business plan? They'll say, yes, we have a plan. Where is the plan? It's in my head. Really and truly, you have an idea in your head. You don't have a plan in your head, a business plan. So it is important for us to recognize that and document our business plan. So for today's session, we'll go through what's required to do a business plan. And there are persons out there who can assist with those, but you as the owner of the business need to provide that person with the information to put the plan together. So definitely you need to know what you want. You could, like the last caller, document it, write it, and can share it with someone to formalize it in a plan for you. A well-written business plan not only helps a business owner to clarify their goals and strategies, but also serve as a critical document for securing financing from lenders or attracting potential investors. It is a dynamic document that should be reviewed and updated regularly to reflect changes in the business environment and to adapt to new opportunities and challenges. So as you could see, the business plan is a dynamic document and it should be reviewed and updated regularly. In the current climate we operate in, we live in, what happens today doesn't happen tomorrow. Things change all the time. Economic reviews change, socio reviews change. There are many things changing around us. For example, post-COVID, we saw the prices of everything change very rapidly. The price of fuel change, all those have impact on our business. Therefore, need to always factor those when we consider in our business plan. Why do you need a business plan. You need a business plan to outline the overall strategies and projections for your business. A business plan is a fundamental document that any new business should have in place prior to beginning operation. It provides essential information for the business external and internal audience. Both startups and established companies use a business plan. So in essence, your business plan have all the information about your business. It's pretty much your business Bible, your gospel, what your go-to. And you can use it, you can share it with your external audience, your external stakeholders like the bank, your shareholders, your internal audience, your internal stakeholders in the case of a company, and if you have many staff, your staff as well. Operating without a business plan usually is not a good idea. In fact, very few companies are able to last very long without one. There are benefits to creating, not only creating, but also sticking to a good business plan. These include being able to think through ideas before investing too much money in them and working through potential obstacles. So basically, the idea really is if you prepare a business plan, you would foresee some of the potential challenges along the way. And in that point, it pretty much speaking to, if it highlights the risk, so you can help you mitigate your losses. So a business plan is very essential for a business in terms of helping it guide. Now, that doesn't mean because you have a business plan that your business will fail, or should I say will not succeed. There are other challenges that may lead to the failure of your business. However, a good business plans give you a good chance, especially if you stick into the plan, it gives you a better chance of surviving. So the second, another point on why pretty much continuation on why do you need a business plan. Business plans help companies or businesses identify the objective and remain on track to meeting goals. They can help companies start, manage themselves, and grow once up and run. They also act as a means to attract lenders and investors. Like we said earlier on, lenders and investors are very much interested in your business plan. Currently, on our last session, I spoke to SEDU small loan program. Glad that Ms. Howell is on. And one of the requirements for small businesses to get the loan, the loan grant program is you need a business plan. So this is pretty much emphasizing from the government standpoint that all businesses should have a business plan. Any questions on why you should have a business plan or about a business plan before I move on to types of business plans? Is it clear to all why you need a business plan? Or do you have any questions on what is a business plan? I feel like it's only me on this Zoom call.
I'm clear, thank you. I'm clear.
Thank you. Okay, great.
No questions.
All right, that is good. That is good. Make me feel engaged that it's not only me on the call. I see there are some information on the chat. Let me see. Okay, so persons are responding on the chat. So okay, it's not that you all are quiet, but you all are using the chat. All right, thank you very much. So we are now going to discuss types of business plans. There are several types of business plans. Each serve a different purpose depending on the specific need and goal of the business. There are no right or wrong business plan. They can fall into two different categories or two major categories. One is a traditional business plan or a lean startup business plan. A traditional business plan is the most common. It contains a lot of details in each section. These tend to be longer than the lean startup plan and require more work. The lean startup business plan, on the other hand, use an abbreviated structure that highlights the key element. The lean startup business plan is an option when a business prefers a quick explanation of its, or a company prefers a quick explanation of its business. Sections can include a value proposition, a major business activity, an advantage, resources such as staff capital, a list of contract or partnership, customer segment, and revenue sources. So basically, in a traditional business plan, it will comprise the majority of the elements of a business plan. However, we are seeing in a startup business plan, which sometimes referred to as a concept, a business plan concept, or you could get those in a one-pager, or you could get them pretty much specific to the needs of the business at the time. So continuing on type of business plan, here are some of the common types of business plans. You have one, which is a common one, which is a startup, I guess, which is what most persons here pretty much either familiar with or what they need right now or what they will be doing. So a brief explanation on startup. This type of business plan is designed for entrepreneurs starting a new business. It outlines the business concept, market analysis, target audience, competitive landscape, marketing and sales strategies, operational plans, and financial projections. So it pretty much, since you're a startup, you don't have any historic information in terms of financials. So it focus more on your financial projections, not necessarily your historic information. Most, in terms of stakeholders, will like to see your historic your historic financials in your business plan. But for startups, that information is not available. And that is one of the difference with that type of business plan. We have internal business plan. An internal business plan is developed and for internal use within an existing company. It may focus on a specific department or a project within the organization and provides a roadmap for achieving specific objectives, such as launching a new product, expanding into a new market, or it could be just to purchase some new capital equipment, capital expenditure, and that sort of stuff. So basically, it's just, it's specific for the intended purpose. Compared to a startup business plan, which would focus on all the details of the company. If you're starting up a company, the internal business plan does not focus on all of those. Strategic business plan. A strategic business plan outlines the long-term strategic direction of the business. It includes an analysis of the market, competition, the internal strengths and weaknesses. The plan focus on getting strategic goals, identifying growth opportunities, and developing strategies for to achieve. So that type of business plan is specifically around the business plan and strategy. Operational business plan. An operational business plan details the day-to-day operations of the business. It includes information on production processes, distribution channels, inventory management, staffing, and other operational aspects. This type of plan help ensure efficiency and effective execution of the business operational activities. You have growth or expansion business plan. This type of business plan is created when a business aims to expand its operation or enter new markets. It focuses on growth strategies, market analysis, financial projections, and resources required to support the expansion. So a growth or expansion business plan can be considered as an internal business plan or a strategic business plan, because it is designed for a specific purpose. We have feasibility study business plan. A feasibility study business plan assesses the viability and potential success of a business idea or project. This includes market research, financial analysis, and risk assessment to determine if the business concept is feasible and if it has the potential to generate profits. We have financial business plan. A financial business plan focuses primarily on the financial aspect of the business. It includes detailed financial projections, cash flow analysis, profit and loss statements, balance sheet, and other financial metrics. This type of plans is often used to secure funding from investor or lenders. Then I think the final one we have is exit or succession business plan. An exit or succession business plan outlines the strategies and steps from the transfer of ownership of management of a business. It may include options such as selling the business, passing it on to a family member, or merging with another company. It is important to note that specific content and structure of a business plan may vary depending on the industry, target audience, and purpose. It is critical to tailor a business plan to address the specific needs and requirements of your business. So question, what type of business plan is best suited for your business? Based on all the examples we look at, can I get a few responses?
Startup.
I think a startup followed by a strategic.
My question is it that it happens that you have a startup and then you progress into another, or you could just go straight into the lower ones, like the strategic, the financial, or just take one?
Well, if you just starting up, definitely you need a startup, right? A startup business plan, which is tailored for a new business. It would include all your financial projections, your marketing plans, and so on. But if you're already in business and you want to develop a new product, you want to develop a new strategy, or you want to review your operations, your finances, then you select a different type of business plan. The business plans are not necessarily very different. What would be different in them would be the elements within the business plan. The various requirements would be different, but it's not that it's vastly different. All of them would include financials, whether it's your prior year, your prior year actuals, your actual financials, or all will include projections, a marketing plan. And pretty much the idea of a business plan is to sell your business. So whether it's for a startup, internal use, strategic use, they are pretty much all the same, with slight twists to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you must have an existing business to do the order, to have a strategic or internal business plan. Because the business plan for a startup would be different if you have an existing company. In one of my prior roles, I created business plans for one of my prior jobs. And for any capital investment, new product launch, they had to develop a business plan for them. And some companies, instead of creating a full business plan, for example, if you're launching a new product, they create a product concept form, pretty much more or less a downscale version of a business plan, but it just focuses specifically on the need, what it is you're doing.
May I ask, are we talking about a plan or the business proposal here? Just for my clarification.
Now we're talking about the business plan, but I'm also discussing different types of business plans. So for a startup, for example, most members here would require a startup business plan to pretty much speak to the projections of your business, what your plans, your marketing plans, what are your financial requirements and so on. However, if you're already in business, you already have an existing business, the type of business plan you would require would be different. So I'm just clarifying the difference in the differences in the type of business plans. Understand?
I'm trying to, because for me, some of these are different, like the feasibility study basically to me is what you do before you do the business plan. So that aspect of it to me is like a precursor to the plan.
The feasibility study business plan could be for a specific project, a specific project idea or business idea you have. So that it can work for a startup business plan or for an existing business. So basically, my explanation in it was a feasibility study assessment, the viability and potential success of a business idea or project. So if you're already in operation and you want to go into a new product or idea, you can do a feasibility study business plan for that as well. So like I said, most of them are pretty much structured the same. However, they have they pretty much serve different purposes and different tweaks based on their purpose.
Okay.
All right. So we are in agreement that most persons on the call interested in a startup business plan. Miss Howell, I know in terms of as I mentioned earlier on, for the loan grant loan facility you have, one of the requirements, well, I guess the most essential requirement is having a business plan.
Oh, the most challenging one, I think, for most people to get, but everything else seems to be this one is the more challenging one.
So can you give us a little more like a little discussion on the challenges you all face from applicants? Or
I don't know that I am the most suited for that. I'll tell you that, because
it's just
the findings are outside of me. There's an evaluation committee that they will document what they have, and I don't want to speak. You know, I can tell you what the requirements are, and I think most people who access our
requirements
platform. Yeah, but what I think most people have an issue with in terms of the business planning. Most people have not done sufficient research. That's evident in terms of market research. That's a challenge. And I'm understanding that many of them, the persons who submitted plans, if you're talking about the business plans, have issues with the financial statements. So for a number of persons who submit, you find that they will use, I guess, general information to try and to support the evidence within the industry and the markets. We don't have a very good structure, I think, for market data collection. And so most people are required to do primary collection, right? You do have some resource tools online, I guess, people can access. For some of the industries, it's a little clearer. I guess for agriculture, it is a little bit clearer. So that's one good thing about agriculture statistics. And I think many years ago, there's a statistics department within agriculture. They did an excellent job in terms of gathering information. So for this particular industry, it's not as challenging as many of the others. But then a lot of people have issues with their financials, basically because of the record keeping issues. Persons do not, for the existing ones especially, do not keep sufficient records. So it's very difficult when they have to put together their statements, the financial statements, like the cash flow and the income statement. It becomes a challenge.
Yeah,
for others, for projections, when you're looking at your sales and projections, your forecasting is important, and then the market information becomes more critical then. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Howell. Again, so members, you all could hear some of the challenges the CEDO department is having from members requesting or required to prepare a business plan. Hence, it is very essential.
Jameson, I can revert to Roycelyn for this platform. That's fine. Sorry.
Roycelyn,
sorry. Yes, Roycelyn is fine.
All right, no worries. Thanks. All right, so it is definitely essential. And you don't want, when you need a business plan, that you have to put one in place and you have all the challenges in getting it, especially if you're trying to do it within a tight deadline. So if you have one already, what you require at that point, maybe just updating it, change some of the information in there, but it is very essential to have a business plan. And for those who will not prepare a plan now, at least start documenting what it is you're doing. Know who your customers are, know the prices of your product, know what your products are, you understand? And one of the points Rosalind indicated, I know you all had some financial sessions, is financial records. Records are essential. All third party wants to know your records. To move forward, it is essential. You must have your financial records, your receipts, your revenues, your expenditures. That is very, very important for any business owner. For me, as a businessman myself, yeah, I know the importance of it, and also doing the work for others. So pretty much anything I have to do anywhere I go, those questions are bombarded. Yeah, what are your records? Where are your records? Where are your records? Yep. And there are persons out there who have the skill set who can do that. It's just a matter of identifying and contacting them to assist you, because there is indeed help out there to getting those things done for those who challenge with it. So now we will go through some of the key elements of a business plan. So a well-structured business plan typically includes the following components: an executive summary, a business description, products and services, the industry or market analysis, the marketing and sales strategy, operational plans, your organization and management, risk assessment or SWOT analysis, your implementation plans, financial projections, your appendix or summary. The list goes on, but I just
Excuse me, will we be getting a copy of this?
Yeah, I can make it available. Yeah.
Yes, because with the speed you're going, I'm not able to keep up. So could we please get one?
Sure, I'll make it available. Now, well, I just mentioned, please feel free to stop me or question me at any time. I just make mention of the various elements, but I will go in and explain each of the elements in a bit. We still have, how long? We still have an hour to go. So you have an hour
Yes,
to go.
but what I wanted was to take a list of it. So that's why I'm asking you if we're going to get a copy of this.
Oh, sure. I can make it available through the
Thank
facility.
you.
For the facilitators, definitely.
Thanks.
Yep, welcome. So those are some of the key elements of a business plan. So now what we will do, we have for the next hour to basically go through those elements. The executive summary. The executive summary is pretty much the first. It's pretty much the first thing you will see when you review or looking at a business plan. It's pretty much a concise overview of the business plan. It summarizes the key points and highlights the business unique selling point. If part of your business plan is requesting for money, pretty much, you should include how much money you want. The exact request should be in the financial summary. There is a saying that when reviewing your business plan, the reader should get by looking at the summary, get a full idea pretty much of what the business plan entails, what you're trying to achieve, and so on. If you impress them with the summary, they may proceed to read the rest of the plan. If the summary don't impress them, they very unlikely will not go through the full plan. So it pretty much includes a brief, it briefly gives your reader what your business is and why it will be successful, including the purpose of the business plan, your products or services, and basic information about your business, leadership team, location. You should also include financial information and highlight and high-level growth plans if you plan to ask for financing. So in essence, the summary of your business plan is what's selling the plan. It doesn't have to be very long, but whatever you include in there should be very brief. And like Rosalind said earlier on, many persons look at examples from online, and you could do the same. You could look to see what it looks like, how it's formulated, and then try to tailor your business into tailor it for your business. For the business description, business description pretty much is a detailed description of the business, including the legal structure, the mission statement, the vision, the values. Also explaining the competitive advantage that will make your business a success. Are there experts on your team? How have you found the perfect location for your store? Your business description is the place to boast about your strength. So basically, any information you think that's important or useful about your business in the business description is the key, is where to do it. Any advantage of business, whether it is based on the location of the business, whether it is on your ability to serve people, your vision. So you need to ensure your business description is pretty strong. Also have there, use your company description to provide detailed information about your company. Go into detail about the problems your business solve. Be specific and list out the customers, the organization or businesses your company plans to serve. one of the definitions of a business, or should I say of a successful business, is a business that is pretty much solving a problem. I'm sure you all have heard of this before. If your business is solving a problem for someone or country or entity, your chance of your business being successful is very high. Because everywhere there is a problem, it creates a demand for a solution. And your business should be tailored around a solution. I know most of you all are agro businesses, agro enterprise, whether it's a processor or whether it is a farmer. You need to try to find out a problem so that you could pretty much try to create a solution for, especially for the agro processors, something that is lacking. So try to identify those and create a solution for it. Yep, it could be a targeted customer, a group of customers that always lack something. If you can come in and fill in that void, then definitely that is a stronghold for you. So in your business description, those you can fill in all those. Any questions on business description? Anything you think that can be added in there, included there that I did not mention? Go ahead, Yasmin. Your hands is up.
Okay, just a quick question. In the business description, I noted it says visions and values. Does that include your mission statement and vision statement?
Yes, your mission statement, your vision statement, your values, yeah. It's pretty much speaking to your business and what your business represents. So you want your reader to know what you represent, what your values are. So it is your opportunity to do that, and your place in the business plan to highlight that. It is important. Yeah, look, I'm seeing someone say they have a problem with, that's one problem they have with the business plan. So let me go from way back. That's a comment from Bernice. I don't know if any one of you going through this, but selling to marketing board and Marcy is a ripoff. I sold free crates of, well, I guess that's a different discussion. But what I can say, if I can add your comment to the conversation, if you realize selling to distributors is a ripoff, try to go into agro processing, find a niche, try to create something with the product that you can get greater value for. Because this is one of the things I have done. So if you know of me and my business, I pretty much have those very challenges and I keep on working around it. I'm not where I want to be, where I need to be, but this is the approach. Sure. Yep. Any more questions on the business description? So I take it that everyone know their business. They know the type of the business structure. They know what they want to include in their business plan in terms of describing their business. Okay, well, since everyone's silent on that, we'll move along to the next in terms of element of a business plan. Someone wants me to touch on the mission and vision statement. Okay.
So I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, what you do, since you're talking about the business plan, right?
Mhm.
What do? You just jot down your ideas, or what do you think of doing, or what exactly you think of doing, and what do? You just bring it to Sedu and Sedu helps you fix the business plan? Or
No,
you?
no, Sedu does not do that, no. You need to get someone, whether an accountant, you could get some lawyers do it as well, but ideally an accountant or an analyst to do that for you.
We do work with people for the business plan, Mr. Jameson.
All right, well.
We do not create the business plan for them, which what would just I think the person is asking.
That's
If
what
I
the
may
person,
just
that's what the
interject. I don't know if that's what they're asking. We don't sit down and just write a business plan from our heads. As I think some people believe that we will just sit down there and put your information down for you because you own the business.
Yeah.
We always say that you own the business, the details of the business and what you want to happen in that business comes from you. We provide guidance in terms of strategic guidance and of course the formatting generally for the write-up, right? As we're doing now with Mr. Jameson to guide you as to what should go into each part of the plan. Right? I think that's what, I don't know if that's what she was asking, but our officers are assigned to, our assistant includes the preparation of plans, but we not just, some people would come to you and expect you to just sit down, write a plan for them and give it to them like if it's a prescription. You understand? Like if they go to a doctor and the doctor writes a prescription and you give it to them and they go with it. But that's not what it entails. Yeah.
Thank you. You also have some examples as well. You give them a hand of the
we
example.
do provide some online to guide.
And there are some online as well, yeah? So for the person who asked the question about the vision, so pretty much the vision is what your goals are, goals of the business, what you want to do, what you want to achieve in the future. Vision and mission is not very different. Sometimes you have both of them together, but it pretty much just speaking about what your goals are, what you want to achieve in the future.
Can I clarify that here?
Yeah, sure.
Because your vision actually articulates your purpose for existing, what you're doing now, what you are doing, what you're about. But the vision is supposed to look at what you want to achieve futuristically. No?
Also to add on to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Normally they say vision is really your long-term vision. That's almost you really like say, for example, I want that every single mother on this world receives adequate education or nutrition or something like that. So really a high level, long-term vision of the ideal situation. Meanwhile, the mission statement is means of describing how they would achieve it. It's more so the steps or components of it, almost like the journey to it.
Yeah, but both of them are interrelated.
For sure.
Yeah, it also includes your goal, how you want to achieve it and whatnot. And those are pretty much summarized. And then in lower in your business planning, where you get in your marketing and your operations, you give more details on how you achieve your mission and your vision. That answers your question for the person who asked or the question about the mission.
Yes, it does.
Thank you. So we'll move the next one to the products and services. Well, products or services. Under the products or services, pretty much gives you an explanation of the products or services the business offers, highlighting their features, their benefit, their competitive advantages. You list also the prices and whatnot. It describes what you're selling or what services you're offering, explain how it benefits your customers and what the product lifestyle looks like. Your plans for intellectual property like copyrights or patent, that's for businesses that requires that. It's not so much required for the small agribusiness. However, I included it in there to give you pretty much an idea. If you're doing research and development for your services or products, you should also explain and include it in them. I think Samantha, can you mute your mic, Samantha, please? Samantha Lightbox.
Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so under your products and services, you could also include your sales strategy, your selling price, and and those as well. So is products and services straightforward for everyone? In terms of give you an idea of what you should include in there? I take it that is a yes. Someone has a comment. Thank you, Alison. Yeah, I think product and services the easiest. I think any business owner, any entrepreneur, they should know what products or services they are offering. And for most of the members here, we're looking at agribusiness, whether it is an agro processing or is it a farmer. Yep. So we all know what our products and services are. So now we're moving along to the next element. And like I said, feel free to ask questions at any time. For market analysis. And a market analysis pretty much is an analysis of the target market, including the size, the growth, potential, customer demographics, and competitive landscape. So basically what it's saying is the size of the market, meaning if you say St. Lucia is your market, the size of your market would be St. Lucia. If let's say you in Soufrière and you want to know your business is targeted and catered only for persons in Soufrière, the size of your market is Soufrière. Then if you're looking for growth potential and you have a business in Soufrière, the size of your market in Soufrière, you now start thinking, okay, my growth potential is to expand my market to Tanneries or to Choiseul, which is the two nearby villages. In terms of your customer demographic, you need to understand, okay, who my customers are. Are my customers youth? Are they adults? Are they children? Who do I cater for? What do each demographic needs? What should I tailor from my product or of my product to serve that specific need? It is also very important to always take feedback as well. So from the feedbacks, then you can improve your product to meet your customer demands. And when you're doing your market analysis, your competitive landscape is very essential. You need to know what your competitor is doing, what's the competitive price. You may think that the customer don't know, but believe me, customers always know what the next competitor doing, because today's customer is always about trying to save $1. There are a small pockets of them that go for quality, but majority goes for the quantity. So you need to know what your competitors are doing, what's your competitor's price, so that you can ensure that your product is priced aligned with that of the competitor. So the customer now, in their decision, they will not rule out price as a decision not to give you business. Because if your competitor is offering the same service or product as you are, and yours is twice as much, I guess you need to be, there's a saying about Jews supporting Jews. You need to be a Jew so that that person will buy your business and buy your product anyways. So once customers can save money, that's what they're looking for. It is very important to know what's going on in the market. You need a good understanding of your industry outlook and target market. Competitive research will show you what other businesses are doing and what their strengths are. In your market research, look for trends and themes. What do successful competitors do? Why does it work? Can you do it better? Now the time to answer those questions. So in your market research, you need to understand all that information, all those things about what's going on in the market. I'm one that believes if somebody can do it, you can do it as well. It may take you time, but if it can be done, once it can be done, anyone can do it. It's just a matter of knowing and understanding what and how to do it, and you can do and master it. there will always be challenges, whether it's the ability, whether it's resources, but always bear in mind, once it can be done, that anyone can do it. It's just more your dedication and your determination to do it and achieve it. Any question on market analysis? Anything you think that is useful? Do you know in terms of market analysis that I didn't factor that you want to discuss and you want me to touch on? No feedback, you'll have me not even in the chat. This is difficult, people. Customers today. Yeah, it's true. Customers do their homework. And other than customers, people talk as well. So especially with the advent of social media, there are persons who post everything, whatever they had, they enjoy, they post. So information spread like wildfire, much faster. So a customer have something, they'll say, okay, I had XYZ by XYZ, and that was the price, and that was the experience. So that it is important to ensure that the product you are offering is comparable to that of your customer, especially if you all are within close proximity. There are instances where customers will drive or take bus to go the further distance to buy the product cheaper. So all those are key in terms of when you're reviewing your market analysis, and use that information to help improve your product and your prices. Okay, so I can move on to the next element of a business plan. We're now looking at the marketing and the sales strategy. So thank you, Alison and Alexia. So, marketing and sales strategy. Pretty much it is a description of the marketing and sales approach, including the target market, pricing strategy, distribution channels, and promotional activities. So everything to do with your sales. So in essence, your sales is pretty much driven by your marketing strategy. So your marketing would be any promotions you have, any pretty much any information that leads to increase your sale or selling the product. And pricing is definitely key, one of those key strategies, distribution as well. So your goal in this section is to describe how you'll attract and retain customers. You also describe how to sell will actually, sorry, you also describe how a sale will actually happen. You'll refer to this section later when you make financial projections. So make sure to thoroughly describe your complete marketing and sales strategy. There is no single way to approach your marketing strategy. Your strategy should evolve and change to fit your unique needs and circumstances. Other than your needs and circumstances, well, pretty much just, but other than your unique needs, if the circumstances in the market change, you need to change your strategy to match it. For example, you may have a promotion and your competitor may have a similar promotion at a higher discount or something that way. So that makes yours ineffective and you may need to respond to that. But within especially farming, we don't have we don't have much challenge in terms of marketing or selling, because the reality is, other than agro-processing, farmers are price takers. And I personally have a big issue with that. I shouldn't be the one working and I should know pretty much the cost of my product, and I sell it based on the cost of my product, not that I spend money, develop a product, and I bring it to market, and the market decide or dictate what they pay me. It is what it is. That's the nature of farming around the world. But for me, it is definitely not the most ideal. Any comments on marketing and sales strategy? I take it everyone is okay with marketing and sales strategy. So the idea really is to drive your sales, you need to have your marketing strategy to do so. And I know you all had other sessions. I'm not sure if you all went through the marketing plans, but there are a lot of tools that can help and assist with marketing. For our next session, in terms of tools and equipment to help improve your business, we will touch on some of the marketing tools that can help and use to push and develop your business. So for that session, we'll just discuss it at a high level. The next element of a business plan is organization and management. It's pretty much an overview of the business organizational structure, key management personnel, their roles and responsibilities. Also, use an organizational chart to lay out who's in charge or what is your business. Show how each person's unique experience will contribute to the success of your venture. Tell your reader how your company will be structured and who will run it. Describe the legal structure of your business. Basically stating whether you have an intent to incorporate your business as a sole trader, a company, or a partnership. So in our last session, we discussed those 3 types of business: sole trader, company, and partnership. So in your organizational section in your business plan, that's where you would pretty much describe that. Yeah, totally agree. We have a comment there from Lucia saying, sometimes it's the product, sometimes it's that the product is better than the other. It could be the way the business owner market the product to bring more earnings to the business. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. That's why marketing is very essential for your business, and you need to define your marketing plan and have it in your business plan. Yep. So in terms of describing the legal structure of your business, for that point, I featured 3 of the 3 types of business: a sole trader, a company, or a partnership. In our last session, we discussed 4 types of business. Can someone tell me what that other type of business is? Can type it in the group chat.
I didn't hear the question, sorry.
Sorry?
I didn't hear the question.
Now, I'm saying that in your organization and management section in your business plan, you will state what type of business, how your business is incorporated. And in there, I reflect in 3 business types: sole trader, company, and partnership or partnership. However, in our last session, we we looked at 4 business types. There was one additional business type we looked at. We didn't focus much on it though. Can anyone recall what was that business type?
Cooperative.
Yes, very, very true. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Yes, we look at cooperative. And I also indicated that your group, especially Helen Daughters, is perfectly positioned to create a cooperative, because you have some ladies with common interests, and it is easy to establish and set up. Yep. So here, one of the points talk to an organizational chart. Do everyone know what an organization chart is, or should I just go straight in it? An organization chart is pretty much a chart that defines the hierarchy or the layer of the organization. It says basically identify who the leader is, the reporting lines, who the supervisor is, and also who the key workers are, the core workers. So there are different types of organization charts. Some of them are clearly defined with all the definitions. Some of them are very high level, but the idea is it offers you a layout, on a graphical image, an idea of what what your organization is. The next element of the business plan you want to discuss is operation plans. An operation plan, a detailed outline of the business day-to-day operations of a detailed outline of the day-to-day operations of the business, including production processes, facilities, equipment, and technology requirements. So in the operation plan, it basically just outlines the process of your operation. It depends, and your operation plan would varies from industry to industry or from sector to sector. So within agriculture, the operation plan for an agro-processor and a farm would be different. And it also depend on the type of technology or the method, your method of farming. Your operating plan would be different to a farmer using a different method. So your operating plan would pretty much detail all your day-to-day transactions based on your operation, based on the method of what it is you do. Yep, financial projections. Financial projections is one of the most important components of a business plan. Other than the executive summary, anyone who grabs your business plan wants to know your financials. They basically want to know whether your business is viable, whether your business is profitable, whether your business in your business plan can pay for whatever it is whatever initiative you are undertaking. Yep. So your financial projections pretty much supplement your funding requests with financial projections. Your goal is to convince the reader that the business is stable and will be a financial success. Like I indicated, your idea, the financial projection is basically to assure the reader that your business is stable and you have your business will be a financial success. It also provides the prospective financial outlook for the next 5 years. So that's another point. If your business is already established, then you include the financials for the last 3 to 5 years. In some cases, your audience might, or your stakeholder might want just the last year your actual projections. But in case of your business is a startup, a new business, you have to provide the prospective financial outlook for the next 5 years, which will detail with detailed assumptions. Basically, whatever projections you have, you need to give clearly outline all the assumptions, how you will achieve those. And make sure to clearly explain your projections and match them with your funding requests. So whatever your projections are, it needs to also align with what your funding request is, because the reader of your business plan needs to be satisfied that that your business idea or initiative is successful and it can pay for itself. So those financial reports and requirements includes, you have the income statement, you have the balance sheet, you have the cash flow and funding requirements. We also have investment appraisals. I will basically touch on them. I know you'll have a financial session, but I will just provide brief review, some brief discussion on them. Basically, an income statement is also known as a profit and loss statement, a P&L. It is a financial statement that summarizes a company's revenue, expenditure, and net profit or loss over a specific period. It provides a snapshot of your business financial performance during that period. So your income statement basically tells you whether your business making a profit or a loss. One glance at it, one look at it, it tells you whether your business make a profit or a loss. When compared to your cash flow, you might have a business that makes a profit. However, you have a negative cash flow. So when I get to cash flow, I'll explain that a little bit, but it is important to know that one of the most important financial reports for your business is your income statement or your profit and loss. So in your income statement, you have your revenues. Revenue, basically, this includes your total sales generated from the business from its primary activities. And then you have the cost of goods sold, which is your direct cost. Basically, the cost it takes you, your total cost to generate that sale. In case of farming, that would be the cost of all your inputs and getting the cost of your inputs to produce the goods, the produce to sell. In terms of agro-processing, that'll be the cost of buying the inputs. If in case of, for example, you're an agro-processor and you buying produce to process, that would be your cost of sale, your direct cost of sales. And your expenses would be, operating expenses would be your overheads, any, for example, your staff costs, your selling expenses, your administrative expenses, your packaging, any cost that's not directly related to the sale would be your expenses. So the format of the profit and loss or the income statement is you have your revenue first, then you deduct your revenue from your cost of goods sold, you get your gross profit, then you deduct your expenses, and then you get your net profit or loss. Someone have a question? Is anyone else finding it hard to hear? Yeah, please answer. I'm not sure if I'm not speaking loud enough or maybe I'm too far away.
I'm hearing you clearly.
Hearing me clearly. And yeah, you may need to increase your volume. I also come closer to the laptop so that you can hear. Okay. All right. So with reference to the income statement, the income statement, the net result of it is whether it's your net income or your net profit or loss. So your net income would be your total revenue loss minus your cost of sale, your direct costs, then you minus your operating expenses. Or you could have your gross profit minus your expenses. Your gross profit would be your total revenue deducting from your total direct costs or your cost of goods sold, and then you do the that'll be your net profit. But I take it, like I said, that you all went through, you all had a session on, well, 3 sessions on finance, and you all went through those in detail. So I'll not spend much time on it. It's just more like a quick recap to those that, for those that not very financially, very awkward with the finances. Yep. So the next key financial report is the balance sheet. A balance sheet is a financial statement that provides a snapshot of a company's financial position at a specific point in time. It presents a summary of the business assets, liability, and shareholder equity. The balance sheet pretty much includes your assets is equal to your liability plus your equity or capital. And with assets, it's broken down into current assets, which is pretty much your cash, your bank. Current assets are assets that can turn over into cash quickly. So that'll be your cash, your bank, your receivables, or your debt, your debtors, and your inventory or your stock. So your non-current assets would be your long-term assets. Those would include your property, plant equipment, intangible assets, assets with long-term value. Then we have your liabilities. Your liabilities, again, is broken down into current liabilities and long-term liabilities. So liabilities represent the company's obligation of debts or to external parties, such as suppliers, your lenders, your creditors, your bank, your loans, your payables. All those form part of your liabilities. So your current liabilities would be your short-term loans, your payables, account payables, or your creditors for those who studied way back before those were changed. And all your accrued expenses, basically an accrued expenses and an expense that for your P&L purpose you record the expense in your P&L, however, you have not actually paid it. So you have the accrual in your current liabilities, and when you make the payment, then it would be a balance sheet transaction where you pretty much reduce your cash and then you reduce your liabilities. However, it allows you to record the expense and the period that it incurs. So depend on your accounting method. If, for example, let's say utilities, your electricity bill for, let's say for May, incurred during the month, however, you're unable to pay for it within the month. So what you do, you create an accrual, you post an accrual so that the business recognize that expense at the time it's incurred, which is in May, and that accrual, you have it in your current liabilities as an accrual. So when you paid, whether you paid in June, July, at whatever point you paid, it would not be reflected in your P&L again, but it will reflect in your balance sheet. When you would pretty much reduce. Just give me a second, please. I'm on a call, so. Yep. So the next, is everyone okay with, I didn't ask about the income statement. Anyone had any questions on the income statements? Everyone is pretty much familiar with the income statement from the last sessions you had, and also the balance sheet. Okay, I take it.
Yes, yes, we do.
I take it that's a yes, thank you. I'll touch on the cash flow statement. Cash flow statement is another very important financial report. It pretty much tells you how financially viable your business is, whether your business can afford, anything pretty much. And it also takes the time value, the timing of your cash. So like I said earlier on, sometimes you may sell, whether it's your revenue, you may sell something on credit, you recognize it in your profit, in your P&L, your income statement, it makes it look profitable. However, you have not received the cash as yet. So you cannot use that cash in the business. So in your cash flow would not recognize your credit sales or do not recognize your accruals. It would only recognize the actual payments, cash in or cash out, in terms of in a nutshell. So a cash flow statement is a financial statement that provides information about your cash inflow and cash outflow of the company during a specific period of time. It tracks the movement of cash and cash equivalents and help assess the company's ability to generate and manage cash. So like the name says, the cash flow, it's all centered around managing your cash. So sometimes you may find that your business your P&L is profitable, but when you look at your cash flow is not. You are actually making a loss because you are not receiving the monies from your P&L on a timely basis, or it could be that you use your money to buy some capital expenditure that pretty much drains your expenditure. So it's important to look and compare both. If I can comment on SEDU again, for the loan requirements, the focus was heavily on the cash flow. They were not as interested in your income statement, your balance sheet, as they were in your cash flow. So if your business plan did not have a cash flow, they would send you back to get the cash flow in there. Because
Actually, we require both the P&L and the cash flow.
Yes, you require both, but the more emphasis was placed on the cash flow. Because the cash flow pretty much determines your ability to repay. And that was well, I'm speaking from experience, the feedback I got from them, in terms of trying to understand the requirements for the.
And you were told that they only require the cash flow?
No. I'm not saying, I just say that there was heavy emphasis on the cash flow. Because a lot of the times persons believe by doing just income statement and balance sheet that is sufficient. I'm saying no, they wanted the cash flow as well. And there was heavy emphasis. Because the cash flow will pretty much let them know whether inform them. Yeah. It will basically help you know whether you can pretty much repay your whatever the requirements are, the loan or whatnot.
But the question I'm making, the information from the cash flow would feed into the income statement, yes?
Yes, it would feed in the income statement. However, there is the reverse way wrong. The information from the income statement feed into the cash flow. However, there is a delay in sometimes when the cash is actually received or paid out.
Okay. So usually we ask for these two at the very least. I'm not too sure what the information was received, but yeah, okay.
So what I'm saying is I know of some business plans that did not have cash flow and they rejected it because they wanted the cash flow. That's from feedback from persons reviewing those plans, so what were the challenges and whatnot. So all I'm saying is there was a heavy emphasis to ensure that it has a cash flow statement in there. Yep. So the next point is the funding requirements. If you're asking for funding, this is where you'll outline your funding requirements. Your goal is to clearly explain how much funding you will need over the next 5 years or whatever period of time, and what you will use it for. specify whether you want debt or equity, the terms you'd like to apply, and the length of time you request you will cover. Basically, we the lender, sorry, the borrower don't actually dictate those terms. Those are pretty much passed on to us most of the times. But you basically need to have an idea of what type of funding you're looking for, how you want to raise the fund. In St. Lucia, we limited to pretty much for bank loan or grant but in other jurisdictions, it's much easier. It's not that St. Lucia don't allow it, but in other jurisdictions, it's easier or more. You get business angels, angel investors, you can form a company and sell stock on the stock exchange. We have the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange, but it's still not an easy process. And people are not very or familiar with it or utilize it. But there are many different options for raising funds, which you will include in your funding requirements. So funding requirements can arise from various sources and purposes. So you also need to include not only how much money you want, but what you want the money for. So for startups, when you're starting a new business, funding needed to cover the initial costs, such as market research, product development, legal fees, equipment purchasing, marketing, working capital, whatever it is you need the funds for. You need to clearly define that in there, in that section. Whether you want the funding for growth and expansion, you need to include that in there as well for established businesses that want to develop and grow. Whether you need it for new product development, you need to include that in there as well. Whether it is to purchase equipment, assets, whatnot, all those need to be included. Whether it's market research, those need to be included as well. And the last one I have on the financial projections, I also include the investment appraisal. So investment appraisal is pretty much a metric used to assess whether your business plan or your financials are profitable. And there are many of them. I have I list one on there, which is return on investment, which is ROI. ROI is a very common investment appraisal. It pretty much is a financial metric used to measure the profitability or efficiency of an investment. It evaluates the return or gain gathered from an investment relating to costs. So the calculation of it is quite simple. You take the net profit, you divide it by the cost of the investment, and you multiply it by 100. So it is reflected as a percentage. So let me make a simple calculation. If you invest if your investment requirement is $100, or let's say 100,000 for argument's sake, you make a profit in the first year of $25,000. That's your profit in the first year. So your ROI would be your profit 25,000 divided by your total investment cost of 100,000, and you multiply that by 100. So the return on your investment would be 25% in your first year. And that would change over years, especially in instances where some of the fixed costs is shed. Yep. Other investment appraisal methods are the payback. Payback pretty much assess the length of time required for an investment to generate cash flow to recover the initial investment costs. It is a simple measure of investment profitability and risk. The payback period is calculated by dividing the initial investment cost by the expected annual cash flow from the investment. So if you want to calculate the payback using the same example, so if your profit, in that case, I'll say your net profit and your cash flow, pretty much the same net effect. It can be the same, given that if you run a cash business like a supermarket business or a retail business that it's only cash transactions. If your profit is 25,000 and you invested 100,000, so in essence, it will take you 4 years to recover your 100,000. So by then, you can define your payback for your investment will be 4 years. So it will your payback for $100,000 with a $25,000 annual profit would be 4 years. We also have, there is someone with a question. It depends on your business by about 15 to. Roxanne, can you explain your question? That depends on your business.
That was not a question. I was replying to the person that asked how many pages your business plan must have. I tell her, well, it depends on her business and roughly that, dependent on how it's structured.
Yeah, thank you, Roxanne, for that. But
yeah,
as I described in the earlier part of the business of this workshop, there are two. You could either have a traditional business plan, which is very lengthy, or you can have a lean business plan, which you pretty much extract the key elements that's required for that purpose. So it varies based on who the audience of the business plan is, what the requirement, what they're looking for. In most cases, you'll do a 15 to 20 page business plan, and the person reviewed will not read all of it. They will only pick out the important components they want. There is someone with their hands on, Ms. Jabatis, Han Jabatis.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Clara. Just a question. What number should we be looking at for return on investment when we have to compare it with probably another investment, or to just see if it is a viable option? So if there's a number, a negative number, positive number, if it's number 15 or whatever percentage, what exactly is it?
If
there is one.
Each company would have their own benchmark for this, their rule of thumb. It also based on what industry you're in. So some of that information is available based on industry standards, but I will not say it's if you have a negative return on investment, that means your investment is you'll not recover your money. You're making a loss in essence. So you should not invest in that business. So the higher the percentage for your return of investment, that means the more profitable your business in, and then that venture is very viable. But the percentage, the specific return on investment, it determines based on the industry, the company, what your target is. But for me, I would pitch at least that's why I use the 25%. Specifically, so 25%, 25 to 40% is a good benchmark. If you can achieve a 50%, that's excellent.
Thank you.
Yep, welcome. But like I say, some businesses are more profitable than others. Some businesses don't have as much operating costs, so therefore, traditionally, especially in the service industry, the operating cost is very low. The margins are very high in the service industry. So it's dependent on the nature of the business you're in. Yep. So the other investment appraisal I had was NPV, which is net present value. It basically assesses the net cash flow associated with your investment, considering the time value of money. The net present value is calculated by discounting the future cash flow of the investment to their present value and then subtracting the initial investment costs. So it's similar to the ROI, but in that instance, it's considering the time value of money. I'm not sure if you covered that in your last class, but money do change value over time, not the amount. In essence, what $1 can buy you today can't buy you tomorrow. So we can look at a simple example, a shilling, 25 cents. When I raised little boy, a bread was 25 cents. Today, a bread, you cannot purchase a bread for 25 cents. And I think everybody on this call can relate to a bread was 25 cents. Because we all raised in a time that everybody buying bread in essence. And we're buying more single loaves than parcel loaves. And today, 25 cents cannot buy your bread. So that just goes to show that the time value of money, what 25 cents could do for you back then cannot happen now. And that applies to everything else. You look at a commodity that the time value of money changing much quicker is fuel. Every 3 weeks, the value of fuel changes. So if you had $100 can give you a car, a full tank of fuel today, and it could be, let's say on Sunday, and as early as Monday morning, that $100 can no longer give you a full tank of gas, which just speaks to that the time value of that money has changed. I know we're running a little late. We also have some risk assessments. So risk assessment basically identify the assessment of the potential risk and challenges of the business may face, along with the strategy to mitigate and manage those risks. So risk assessment is not a very popular of the elements of the business plan that's included, but for more sophisticated plans, some persons may want you to factor in the risk assessment. And in that risk assessment, you'll have a pessimistic view and an optimistic view. Pessimistic view might be a 15% down, an optimistic 15% up. Pretty much factor in if it go any of the two ways. Yep, given the interest of time, we'll just go through the implementation plan. Implementation plan is a step-by-step plan for executing your strategies outlined in the business plan, including timelines, milestones, and key performance indicators. Appendix. Your appendix, you use your appendix to provide supporting document or other material where specifically requested. Common items to include are your verification cards, your ID cards, your resume, if required, your product picture, letters of references, licenses, permits, market research data, legal documents, contracts, or relevant information. So any relevant information that you think that the review of the business plan would want to see, you can include them in your appendix. And I have one last slide on why do business plans fail. So I'm not saying that business fail, but a business plan. After we went through all of that, and sometimes not all businesses, we all know, especially with startups, have a very low successful rate. So it doesn't mean that because you have a solid business plan and you all learn that your business will not fail. So the note on that is, even if you have a good business plan, your companies can still fail, especially if you do not stick to the plan. Having strong leadership with a focus on the plan is always a good strategy. Even when following the plan, if you have poor assumptions going into your projections, you can be caught with a cash flow shortage or out of control budget. So hence it is important to constantly review your plans. It could be that at the time you set the plan, your projections, your capital expenditure were valid, but due to changes in the market, the prices change. You need to know that quickly to adjust. So market and the economy can also change. So similarly, once those change, all your assumptions do change. Without flexibility built into your business plan, you may be unable to pivot a new course as needed. So hence, when I was discussing the risk component of the plan, you build in some pessimist view and an optimistic view. So basically, if it goes either or, you know that your plan is solid and you have that flexibility in terms of recovering. I just look at my clock says that 2 minutes past. We still have I still have some time for Q&A if you have any questions. Can anyone have any questions? Can ask now at this point. Sorry for rushing the last set of points. I was pretty much trying to ensure I stick within the 2 hours, but I stopped watching the clock and it catch up with me. Sorry about that. Any questions at this point? Hello, any questions?
No questions, thanks.
So everyone understand the concept of a business plan?
Yes.
Yes, so far. Yes.
Yes.
Great. So yeah, for those who don't know who I am, I actually intended to show my face in the last session. I didn't do it, but this session I said I would start off doing it, didn't do it because I was sharing my screen. So this is your facilitator. Yeah. And thank you for attending and
Hi, hello.
Hello. So Madam Moderator, passing back on to you. And I do hope that everyone will review those. I will pass on the notes to the facilitator so that if you need the additional information, you can get it from there. Also,
thank you.
Assistance with your business plan, how I can assist or direct you to where you can get assistance. You're most welcome. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hi, James. And just before you leave, do you do consultations?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Is it one-on-one or with a group, or can
Can
somebody
be-
call you directly?
Yes, I can be called directly. Can be either or.
Okay. All right. So that's something I'll look into. Okay, then.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, but it's important to understand those for business and register your business and have a business plan.
Imagine a man with unsound mind bludgeoned to a mother to death. She never stood trial for his crime, sat behind bars for over 20 years. Then one day, you find out that without being convicted, he was unconditionally released from